A badge and a murder that shook Houston to its core. Kent McGowen was a Harris County deputy sworn to uphold the law, but he spent decades in a Texas prison for taking a woman's life. Now, the former deputy is a free man, and he's here in Studio B, standing by to share his story that you will see only here on The Factor.
If you got a job, you feel me, 9 to 5, you stay over there and say, and I'm not saying that just because you got a 9 to 5, you're broke.
Plus, could having a stable job be a red flag for a new relationship? A viral dating rule is shaking up social media after a woman declared men with a 9 to 5 are officially blacklisted. Are dating standards doing too damn much?
The Isiah Factor Uncensored starts now.
Joseph Kent McGowen says he always wanted to protect the little guy from the bully. The way he could achieve that in his mind was to become an official protector, a police officer. He even joined the military at 17 to get one step closer. He ultimately became a Harris County deputy until one night things went wrong. McGowen was convicted of killing 42-year-old mother Susan White in her Harris County home in 1992. His first conviction in 1994 for that case was overturned because of court procedural issues. He was later sentenced a second time in 2002 to 20 years in prison. He was called an overzealous road cop who wanted to be a hero at any cost. But how did McGowen end up killing White? Let's take you back in the story. Court records show he was at her home to serve what prosecutors call a warrant he obtained by lying. They said this was after McGowen felt White was interfering with a gun investigation her son was involved in. But prosecutors say when McGowen, backed by other deputies, confronted White in her bedroom with the so-called warrant, he shot her. This is after McGowen says she pointed a pistol at him and refused to put her gun down. Now McGowen is out of prison and telling his own story in the new book, Reasonable Doubts, How Rumor and Influence Convicted Deputy Kent McGowen of Murder. And, of course, we want to thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Kent McGowen joins us now in the studio with this exclusive tonight. And we'd like to invite you to bring your input, all of tonight's conversation. You can text us your thoughts to the number on the screen, 713-581-9914. So, Kent, you're live on TV now. When you see a report like that and what came out in the courts, what do you have an issue with what you heard?
What the truth is, and what was portrayed in basically the rogue media at the time, and it was that's what got me a lot of part of what got me a good portion was it was just tabloid trash. Mm-hmm. Media got involved, it just took a life on, took a life on itself, and it grew into this monster, which resulted in my unjustly and illegally being put in prison for 20 years over this.
You don't deny that you pulled the trigger.
Absolutely.
But you're saying what transpired that you were justified in pulling that trigger.
Right. I was at the actual time of the shooting, I was approximately 11 feet from the suspect. And I had two other deputies within inches behind me, literally on top of me. And the suspect pointed the weapon at me. I told her twice, drop the gun, drop the gun. At that point, she came up, pointed the firearm right in my face, and we're 11 feet apart, pointing guns. I told her a third time. I said, drop the gun, I'm gonna shoot. And I see her put her finger on the trigger, and she was about to shoot. Mm-hmm. And so I fired first. That split second, what went through my head at that split second was she was gonna take me out, and then deputies Todd Morong and Mike Malloy, the men that were behind me at the time of the shooting, and have stuck with me all these years.
And so the loss of life, though.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever had the opportunity or wanted to or tried to apologize to the family? Or do you feel like you need to do that?
We've had no communication either way from the family. Actually, when I was locked up a few years, they had a program within TDC that if the families wanted to come speak with you, I'd filled out the paperwork saying if they ever want to come talk to me, that I would definitely talk with them.
And if you could talk to them, what would you say to them?
I would say that they were lied to, and misled by the district attorney's office. Mind you, this was in 1992. It was a whole different situation. The sheriff's department was way unmanned. They were 15 years, 20 years behind HPD and everything they had. The DA's office was rogue back then. The sheriff's department was absolutely unsupervised, unmanaged, poorly run. I was a Houston police officer before I went to the Harris County SO. And so I saw a lot of the, between the two, the differences, and it was disturbing, to tell you the truth. And then I was put in a position, by the suspect. Every step of this, the suspect could have put a halt to it, And then when it came down to serving the warrant, I had no idea the suspect had in and out of mental institutions her whole life. She was on drugs at the time of the shooting. She was in possession of a feloniously purchased handgun. The handgun she bought as her own son testified to murder her husband with it. And the two deputies that were with me at the time of the shooting, we knew none of this history on the suspect. It was a felony retaliation warrant. She made threats to have an informant of mine killed because he had set up her son. He was involved in a burglary ring and automatic weapons at the time.
And of course, prosecutors have said that threat wasn't specific, saying that you're going to be killed. Prosecutors said that threat was essentially snitches will find themselves in trouble, essentially, but not murder.
Yeah, when the suspect made comments to the witnesses that the DA's office withheld from us for about 17 years till we found him on appeal, that informants in Houston don't live long, don't you watch TV, informants get killed. And she was telling this to the suspects, to my informant's mother. And we have statements which were withheld from us until we recovered them maybe 3 years. And this has been 34 years.
And of course, we want people to read the book and get the information because we can't relitigate all of this. You only have a limited amount of time here on The Factor. But I go back to the question, would you, in your heart, decide to apologize to the family, or you feel like that's not what you need to do now?
That's a good question. I'm sorry for the situation that happened, of course, and that a life of somebody was taken. But I was doing what I had to do to protect my life at the time and the life of my partners standing right behind me at the time. I was put in a situation I couldn't back out. She's coming up, suspect's pulling the trigger on the weapon after the third time I told her to drop it. I was left with no other situation. I had no other options at the time. It was, if I wasn't going to shoot, she was just pointing the gun right at my face.
And really quick, was she pulling the trigger or had her hand on the trigger?
When I first told her drop the gun, she had the weapon at her hip like this. And she came up and pointed it directly at me, and her finger wasn't on the trigger at that point. I remember it like a Polaroid picture. And you literally do zoom in, tunnel vision. And I see her put her finger on the trigger. And I said, drop the gun, or I'm going to shoot you the third time. She put her finger on the trigger and started to squeeze. I fired first. That's what happened.
And why write this book? What do you want the public to know that they may not? And a lot of people, this would be fresh to them because the case is 30 years old. But really quick, and we're going to come back and talk to you more, but why do you want this book out there?
Yeah, I didn't write the book. I was approached about writing the book. And the truth needs to come out there. This situation, because of these corrupt individuals at the sheriff's department and the DA's office at the time, I wasn't the only one. There's several other deputies they set up. Some are still in prison. There's a group in there, and if you didn't go along with it and you stood up for what was right, this is what happened. And then, but the book, it needs to come out what happened, because basically we've sat quiet for 34 years, And then when I was locked up for 19 years, 4 months, and 4 days on a 20, saw parole 10 times before they let me out. I was eligible for parole for 15 years. And I sent letters to you during that time, and to Randy Wallace. But it needs to come out. I have my children grew up with this, and the stigma.
We're going to take a quick break and allow you to come back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue this conversation with former law enforcement officer Kent McGowen after the break. And don't forget, you can join in on the conversation here on The Factor in real time. Text, don't call 713-581-9914. We'll be back. Stay with us. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're continuing our exclusive interview with former law enforcement officer Kent McGowen, who went to prison for 20 years in the death of Susan Wright from 1992. He joins us now. One of the things you wanted to bring back up, the question I had you apologized to the family? Have you thought about it? Let's hear now.
Sure. Like I pointed out earlier, I'd volunteered through the program that TDC had to reach out to him and never heard back. You know, I'm sorry this happened. I'm sure this destroyed her family, absolutely no doubt, and as well as my family. You know, and it's affected us. It's destroyed my family socially, financially, professionally, and otherwise. You know, and I honestly think that the stress of this, you know, brought on the passing of my mom and my dad, my eldest son. This has destroyed numerous lives. But I was in a situation where, you know, I'm looking at a gun, you know, I don't know, it's pointing in my face, the trigger's pulling, we're there lawfully, lawful warrant, we're uniform, and I was just put in that position, you know, and being a policeman for, you know, many years prior to that, you know, I've been in, you know, situations like that or near to it. But at that very moment, it was, what flashed in my head at that very moment, so I was afraid she's going to shoot me and take out the other guys. If I could sit down with her family today, I would, you know. Sorry about what happened, you know, but from the other end, you know, there's several steps that it could have been halted at any time from the suspect's point of view, and just escalated and escalated until that final, you know, 2 or 3 seconds standing in the room pointing guns at each other.
When you're in prison and you recently got out, and we've had a conversation about you coming on for at least a year.
Yes, sir.
What was your darkest time? Did you ever think at any point about ending it all yourself?
When I was in prison?
Yeah.
Man, that's a whole different story. No, I didn't, because I've been asked that before. And my response is always, I wouldn't give the bad guys who set us up, I wouldn't give them the, you know, the thrill of having that happen, you know. They need to be held accountable. They've done this to many other people through their, you know, 40 and 50 years. They've been national news, they've made, doing the same thing.
And of course, you'll find out more in his book, but you're talking about individuals who may be in law, practicing law, and in a list of other positions, not some average person on the street, but you reveal all of that in your book.
Right. I interviewed.
We don't want the names because we don't want no damn lawsuits, Kent.
I know. Oh, they're coming. They're going to be fine both ways, I'm sure, when all this truth comes out. But I interviewed for 9 months straight on this book, Monday through Friday, you know, 1 to 3 hours a day on a Zoom meeting, you know. And I was approached about doing this book, and you know, I'll try to get this story out.
Yeah.
And then it took 15 months for Jerry Langton. He's a writer, a bestseller writer in New York City. Jerry wrote the book, and yeah, I know it's out on Amazon. To be honest with you, I've not read the final copy. I read a rough draft.
But you felt comfortable enough with what he had gathered and
Pedro Oregon case, and then we have a quote from him in the New York Times where he stated, even if police officers are in the house unlawful, they have a right to self-defense and shoot. But Johnny Holmes and that prosecutor. And that was after I locked up for 20 years for that.
And in the last 40 seconds we have here, what do you absolutely want to say right now? Obviously, the book is out. You can get it at various publishers and also Amazon. But what else do you want to say, Kent, before we wrap up?
One thing, I want to apologize to my family and what this has put them through, that not on my behest. And if I ever caused any grief or embarrassment for the police officers, and I still deal with them all the time. But apologize to the family what happened, but they need to understand they have been misled. I've heard them testify on things they've said. I don't think they're intentionally lying to what they said. They've been misled and lied to. And I think hopefully they'll read this book and see the truth.
All right, that book is Reasonable Doubt?
Yes, sir, Reasonable Doubts.
And of course, you can get it at Amazon and any place that you can buy books. Thank you for coming to the Factor Uncensored, talking with us. Like I said, we worked on this for about a year, and you finally arrived, and we appreciate your time.
Yes, sir, I appreciate
and coming on the Factor. Sure. Still ahead tonight, a deadly fight over bleacher seats heads to the courtroom. The high-profile murder trial officially begins for the stabbing at a school track meet. We'll have a full breakdown from an expert on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere.
Cut!
When you own a business, you own every decision.
Tom, you ready to finalize the launch?
New products in the pipeline. Meetings on the move. A launch from the lounge.
Tom?
I'm ready. A window seat for an office.
Look at this EBITDA.
What? Wrap the R&D, earn some R&R. What if we tried something like this?
Good morning, Mr. Holland.
Demand's heating up. The social campaign goes live in 3, 2, 1. The business card that gives back all you put in. Chase Sapphire Reserve for business.
This program is being brought to you by Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
All righty, welcome back. Jury selection is underway in the murder trial over a deadly stabbing at a Frisco, Texas track meet. Karmelo Anthony claims he acted in self-defense when he killed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during an argument over seating last year. Because of the intense public spotlight on this case, the judge has taken the rare step of completely banning cameras inside the courtroom. We also want to hear from you tonight. You can text your thoughts at 713-581-9914. Joining us to talk about it, criminal defense attorney Bayoji Akingbala. Glad to have you here on the. Is this rare? This is not rare that a judge has banned all cameras in the courtroom, right? There have been cases.
Yeah, there's been a lot of high-profile cases where you typically would have, camera presence and people from the media in, like O.J. Simpson trial. I think the judge expressed concern given some of the vitriol that has been surrounding this case. The parents of The defendant, in this case, expressed that they were receiving threats. So to kind of keep all of that low, he wanted to make sure that to preserve the safety and the integrity of the process, that's why he decided to keep cameras out of the courtroom.
And for those who are not familiar with this case, Anthony happens to be black, Metcalf happens to be white. And it's gone down racial lines on social media, especially when it comes to liberals versus conservatives.
Yes.
How damaging is that to that publicity, that racial divide to this case?
Well, there's always going to be a concern about whether or not you're going to have a fair and impartial jury panel, which is what really influenced the process in this case. There were over 600 potential jurors in this case because they want to make sure that they do their due diligence in getting people that are not so heavily impacted and influenced and formulated a conclusion prior to hearing the evidence.
And of course, we've taken for granted that everyone is familiar with this case. What is at the heart of the issue here by OG?
The legal heart of the issue here is whether or not self-defense applies.
Karmelo Anthony is accused of doing what?
Oh, he's accused of murdering Mr. Metcalf. And the defense that he's raised, even on the day of his arrest, was that he felt in fear of his own personal safety and he acted in self-defense. And that's what's going to be at legal issue, whether or not the Texas laws pertaining to self-defense apply to what Mr. Karmelo Anthony did that day.
Now, his defense team, what would you, and you are a former prosecutor, currently a criminal defense attorney, which approach would you tell Mr. Anthony's team to take in a case like this?
Well, I think the only approach to take is self-defense, because when you're dealing with a murder case, you have one of two defenses. I didn't do it, or I did do it and I was justified. He can't claim the first defense because there's way too many people there. It was even captured on surveillance. So that leaves the only other possible defense, which is I did this and I am justified in doing so. That being said, it's going to be an uphill battle because, as we've learned, Mr. Metcalf was unarmed. For him, what he's going to have to do is try to talk about the Texas rules of evidence and the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure as it pertains to self-defense. Self-defense can apply when you believe that the attempted use of force or the use of force is going to cause serious bodily injury or potential death, and that's a concern. How do you get to the point of saying that I was in fear of serious bodily injury? They're really going to have to maybe perhaps say that he was confronted not only with Mr. Metcalf, but the group that was there, or even that he believed that the attempted use of force was imminent, that he could have sustained serious bodily injury, talking about the height and weight disparity between him and Mr. Metcalf. I think also the makeup and the composition of this jury is really going to be at issue here. Yes, race shouldn't play an issue, according to the law, right?
Reality is,
yes,
it
but
will.
As a defense attorney, right, I'll tell you, when I have a person of color as my defendant, especially when you're dealing with a white complainant, you want to have a diverse panel. You want to have people that look like Mr. Karmelo Anthony, parents that can empathize with Mr. Karmelo Anthony. So the more potentially black jurors that sit on this panel, the better for him.
All right. Thank you for joining us out of time, and of course we'll be watching this trial. Still ahead tonight, serious new charges for well-known rapper Lil Boosie following an alleged violent clash at a downtown Houston nightclub. The response from him and his legal team after the break. welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Rapper Boosie Badass is facing felony aggravated assault charges here in Harris County after a late-night altercation in downtown Houston. According to court documents, this happened as the Dome nightclub was closing during Memorial Day weekend. Police say a security guard was escorting a female out of the club when he was suddenly struck in the back of the head. The guard told investigators he turned to see Boosie holding a broken glass hookah base. The victim required 8 staples to his head. Today, both the rapper and his attorney, Carl Moore, spoke out.
Hey, to all my family and fans, man, I'm okay, bro. I'm all right. It's basically a money grab, man. It's a money grab, but it's what you go through as an entertainer. The facts of the case have come out. I mean, we're in court now. But this is a money grab, man.
Good. So we plan to vigorously defend him and investigate the case and see where we are. We believe he was defending another person, and so we want to be able to show the state that and hopefully get this case dismissed.
Now, Boosie was not taken into custody, but a bond was set at $85,000. A new court date is scheduled for September 15th. Can a stable, steady paycheck be a red flag in dating? For at least one person, the answer is yes. We'll talk about 2026 dating rules, one of the other side of the break. Stay with us here on The Factor.
When your home feels
You're watching the Isiah Factor Uncensored.
Welcome and thank you for joining us here on the second half hour, The Factor Uncensored. Now, if you're single and scrolling through social media, you already know the dating world is on shaky ground. We ask if this next dating rule is doing too damn much, saying no to hard-working guys with regular jobs. We're talking about 9 to 5. Check out this viral clip with a woman explaining why her man having a 9 to 5 is a no-go.
I'm not messing with a dude that got a job. I'm sorry. And I don't have nothing against people with jobs, but it's just that I haven't had a job since I was 17. So every dude that I have messed with has always been jealous of me. What's going to happen when I tell you that me and my friends, we about to go to Miami. It's Thursday. We leaving tomorrow at 8 a.m. And then you be like, oh, where you going? And I'm like, do you want to go too? Oh, no, I can't come because I got to go to work. Now I can't even enjoy my time with what I'm doing because you tweaking on me. No, I'm good. If you got a job, you feel me, 9 to 5, you stay over there. And I'm not saying that just because you got a 9 to 5, you're broke. You could be a lawyer, a doctor. You're still on a certain time constraint that I'm not on. So you stay over here, I'm gonna stay over. You stay over there, I'm gonna stay over here.
Now, is this a smart backup plan? We want to hear from you as well. Shoot us a text at 713-581-9914. Joining us in the studio to talk about this, matchmaker and dating coach Juanita Brown. And the single folk are here, Bevan Biggers, Paige J, Quincy Guidry, and the biggest. Glad to have you. What's the face for?
I'm not single anymore.
Okay, all right. Correction.
Yeah.
She's no longer single, off the market. But your thoughts about what we just heard, Bevan?
I was like, okay, she might be doing too much, but that's her preference. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she wants a bum, I mean, if she wants a person that's not on a schedule, then that's her preference. But for me, I mean, mine are like no life or death allergies and no small penises.
There you go. All right, the biggest.
Let me speak on it, Isaiah. I don't think this is a good source that we listening to anyway. Yeah. She don't look like she got it all together anyway. I understand you've been grinding since you was 17, no job, yeah. But if real business owners know business goes up and down, it fluctuates, and it's an uphill battle. Why would you not want a man with consistent cash flow, consistent money, stability, health insurance, all these great things, retirement? Why would you not want that? Our women always say we want stability, consistency, and all that. She just crossed out all the good men when she said that. So,
and it could be out of her face. Like, I don't want to do that's always in my face. Go to work.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah, go to work.
So if you broke and ain't got a job, you're the man for her.
For real. Yeah. What does she do for a living? Yeah. She didn't say what she did.
Exactly. She said I looked
just sell hair? Oh, okay.
She said, I ain't gonna say that's all she do, but I know she sell hair. I don't know what else she doing.
She does what? She does what?
She sells hair, like bundles and things
okay,
of that
got it. Okay.
Yeah, you know.
All right, Quincy, don't slow us down.
Man, I'm with the biggest on that, man. Consider the source, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a 9 to 5, but I got comp time, I got vacation time. All you gotta do is let me know where we're going and when we're gonna be there.
We gone.
Now, if she talking about paying for it, yeah. She ain't said nothing about paying for it. Is it coming out of my pocket? I mean, come on now. Either way it go, we can still make it happen, you know? But like I say, these unrealistic expectations are completely astronomically crazy, because I done had a young lady tell me, she say, my kisses aren't passionate because they don't make a sound. I ain't heard any sound effects. You know what I mean? She want that you do that for the little babies.
Yeah. All right, Paige.
I definitely agree with the guys on the stability end of it. And if you want an entrepreneur, that's not 9 to 5. That can be all day, sun up to sundown. Like when you're an entrepreneur, you never stop working, you never stop grinding. And like the biggest said, it's some ups and it's some downs. Today you up, tomorrow you broke. You know, when you're in entrepreneurship. And I understand saying, like I've always was told, 3 Sean's: occupation, transportation, habitation. So that means you have to have your own you have to have a vehicle, you have to have a home, you have to have a job. Those are reasonable boundaries, but saying I don't want a man with 9 to 5, you definitely casting out at least 90% of the men.
All right, Juanita, and one of the viewers is saying she was stressing out. I've been saying that over a decade. A lot of women don't respect a man with a job anymore. Your thoughts about that?
So as a matchmaker, when I see videos like that, that's usually rage bait. You know, they make money from getting all these views, getting people all riled up. And then when it comes to finding a man at work, you know, what are you looking for in your lifetime? It looks like she's looking for a fun time, not a man or a husband per se. And I think people get that confused when it comes to modern dating. You know, people are stuck on the social media hype and influence, and really, if you want a husband, you're going to portray yourself differently to get that husband. Or if you want a fun time, you'll portray yourself like that to fly out to Miami.
And of course, some are saying she's still young.
And she's a mother.
She probably wants a scam. She probably
She
wants a dude that makes fast money, like a scammer or a drug dealer.
She's talking like she's a trick, like you're paying for everything. And if that's the case, then yeah, go get you somebody that got a bunch of free time and no kids to take out with you.
Man, she wants somebody to pay her way. She's looking for a sponsor.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
She's watching the internet and she's seeing other people have this lavish lifestyle, and that's not reality.
Man, that life comes with some penetration, so she can keep on. She
That's
Miami.
And Paige, you make a good point. A lot of people watch the internet and they don't have a true idea of what it should be like. Is that an ongoing problem, that social media aspect?
Absolutely. The average cat can't buy a Birkin bag. He can't just fly you out like any old time of day.
Especially with Spirit being gone.
R.I.P. Spirit. For real, we need you back.
So, yeah, but it's definitely just... Social media is all a lie, man. All you doing is posting your highlights. This ain't your real life. This ain't really you. You just posting the best things about you. Soon as something bad happens, we ain't gonna see you. I had to take a 6-month break. Nah, yeah, you and your feelings. You can't really adjust to what's going on in real life. You ain't even that in real life. I done met people, you really not that. This what you gonna get online and in person with me. We live, right?
Yeah. All right, we'll be back with this conversation in just a moment here on The Factor Uncensored. Don't go anywhere.
Real people.
And welcome back. Are single people list of relationship deal breakers completely out of control? When does setting a boundary cross the line too damn much? Our guests are back to talk about it. Juanita, for those who have all of these lists, are they limiting their options? Is it realistic?
Absolutely. As a matchmaker, I get clients with all kind of unrealistic expectations. I've had someone tell me they want someone that doesn't have a sibling. I've had someone tell me they have to be a certain skin tone. I've had someone tell me, you know, they could never been engaged. I mean, people are limiting themselves, and usually the person that's for you is someone you at least expect.
And so do you set them right, or you say, look, you need to look at other options, change that mindset, or you say, well, I'll find you this person with no sister or brother?
Absolutely. During the consultation, situation, everyone's required to have one, I let them know straight up, either we can do this or we can't, because some people, I don't work with everyone because they are stuck on these unrealistic expectations that just won't ever happen. They'll be single forever.
And the biggest, what are your thoughts about the lists that we see out there? I think now, because we reported on last week the 4 6s, you have to have at least 6 inches in bed, a 6-pack, 6 figures, and 6 feet tall.
My God, okay. Say, man, these lists is crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie. Obviously, I ain't got the 6-pack, baby. You know what I'm saying? But we still gonna make it work. I feel like you like who you like. Everybody deserves to have a standard. You know what I'm saying? You do not have to date nobody you're not attracted to, who don't meet your standards. That's fine. But to get on here popping it like that young lady was, it's just outrageous. It's a lot of women require things that they cannot provide. You got to take me out 5-star, baby. You can't take me to Joe's Crab Shack. So I don't understand that. I understand, like, you know, man, we carry the bulk of the stuff and all that. That's fine. I don't got no problem with that. But don't get in my face telling me you gotta have this, gotta have that. You have nothing. What do you have to offer me? Well, I don't understand that. I need you to have something going on in your life. Can you take care of yourself? Then we can move forward.
And Quincy, are those the individuals who tend to have lists where they come to the table lacking?
They definitely do. Cause I mean, I'm 2 out of 4 on the list, so I ain't bad.
Halfway there.
But definitely, cause I've had young ladies come to me and tell me they not down for the come up, and I'm a working man. I'm building my brand, and I got a podcast. I got a few things going on, so it might take me a little minute to get to where you think that I should be. But just know we can build something together. And then another lady asked me at the same time. She say, do you feel like we need a prenuptial agreement? I say, all the things that I've acquired up until this point are my assets. Now, anything that we gather together, I don't mind splitting it with you. I'm cool with that. But that's what's out here. These are the expectations that they set now. Man, I got, and the list goes on and on. I can keep on going. I'm telling you, I got some stories for you. You want another?
Well, let's bring some of the old Paige, Jay, Bevan. Let's hear from you guys.
Well, you heard my requirements. I just don't want a little dick and no, I mean, penis.
I don't know what, Sonora, can we say the D word? We don't think so. We apologize for that.
I'm sorry, kiddos out there. And no life or death allergies. I don't want to have an EpiPen everywhere we go. I mean, that's realistic. And then no balding. No shade.
That's
no
crazy.
Balding?
No balding.
No
like hair?
So it's hair
we gotta just give us some time. At least wait till we hit our 50s.
Damn, it's hair requirement.
Paige, let's hear from you.
There, so I ain't even really tripping.
I agree with liking who you like, and what's for you is for you, because as a woman that doesn't have children, I don't date men with children. But that's just because that's just not my thing. That's not what I have going on. I don't have a baby mama or a baby daddy or, you know, having a child to pick up. So those are my expectations. And like I said, it doesn't benefit a woman to date below what she already can acquire for herself. So as long as you can do what I can do for me, then we can work it out.
One of our viewers says it's all about a fantasy status level in dating standards, Juanita. Living in a fantasy.
My God.
Yeah, social media. That's what that all stems from. Everyone want to have this perfect relationship, perfect situationship, and they're aiming for things that just aren't realistic.
Disney too.
Also, someone says they want to put their $1 with your $100 so they can say we have $101.
Exactly.
The math is good.
They might
The math is good.
Yours is mine. Yours is ours.
Go back to work.
Yeah.
Man,
I believe in prenups regardless, though.
I do too.
Period. Just period.
And so what level should you, I mean, assets, what kind of assets? Nothing? Or what type of assets would you require for a prenup?
Prenups are not always about assets. Sometimes it's just about the...
Explain it to us.
Sometimes prenups are about what you require in the relationship or in the marriage. Like if I want two kids by 4 years, you know, that's what prenups... You can put anything in a prenup. It doesn't have to do with just money. It's just the requirements that you have in the marriage. And if that person doesn't meet those requirements, then you can
And Juanita, for those you coach, how likely are they to accept one of these prenups about, you know, I want 4 kids in 2 years or what have you?
So I've never heard of anyone putting kids in a prenup, but I do get a lot of clients that are strict about having someone that makes 6 figures and up because they themselves make that amount of money.
And I can respect that. They themselves make such and such, you know what I'm saying? But don't come making 25 a year talking about he got to make 6 figures.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, man.
Blame the patriarchy. Blame it on the patriarchy. That's not our fault.
I know you heard about that prenup Janet Jackson had.
Smart, a beautiful one.
Smart.
She said beautiful.
Good.
I think if the marriage lasts 10 years, she get a certain amount, and if we get a kid out the deal, she get another amount.
Yeah, she did.
He got the kid.
He got the same with Janet Jackson.
He got the kid.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Still ahead tonight, the red carpet rolls out in Houston for a story of incredible Texas resilience. We are taking you inside the River Oaks Theater for the emotional premiere of River of Angels. Plus, we're still taking your texts. Send them to 713-581-9914. We'll be back. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Tonight, local filmmaker Sean Welling, who you have seen here on The Factor Uncensored several times. Well, he debuted his emotional new documentary, River of Angels, at the River Oaks Theater here in Houston. The film honors the survivors and first responders of the tragic 2025 Central Texas flood. And at least 117 people died in that tragedy, including children as well. So it is a tough situation that we all watched in real time here in the state of Texas. Now let's take a look at what was on the red carpet today in River Oaks.
Take me down and take me down and take me down. What do you want?
We're always asking why, and we never know why.
You don't.
And I don't pretend to know, and that's
we all prayed together, we prayed out loud. It was to keep us safe, keep them safe.
We want them to know that what they felt and what they went through is heard. And we want the rest of the world, hopefully this film goes very far and people can understand more about what really happened, because that's not really out there. We don't all have the facts. And I want people to know not just the facts, but what the community did to survive this and to remember the lives lost, to remember them in the most honorable way.
I think just hearing the stories in first detailed account, like what happened, and hearing it out of the mouths of the families that experienced this horrible tragedy, and understanding what we can do as Texans moving forward to improve our community, to make sure this never happens again, but also just being a part of tonight is important.
And what do you hope it will do for the public out there?
I hope it just really can give people a chance to tell their story, in a non-biased way. There's been a lot of, blame game and finger pointing, and I think this is a good chance for people to just tell their story and what happened.
Having compassion on this, incredible story that no one ever expected, and, coming together as a community. I think real, authentic, transparent stories, grieving is something no one expects to do in life, and having a community and others who unfortunately have gone through something like this together is important.
So how did this impact you personally?
Well, I think the first thing is that people think this is a mystic flood, and it's a Kerr County flood. And we want to know about the RV parks, the children there. We want to know about a lot of the lives lost, even past Center Point Bridge. There's a lot of immigrants that their lives were washed away that we don't know about. So I want to bring a full picture and understanding that there's many other places that we want to remember and know about. As far as how it affected me, every time I came back from Kerr County, I just hugged my 7-year-old that much more. I prayed more, became man, more faith, and I was thankful for what they gave our family, which is just this wonderful sense of love and compassion.
I'm very excited to be able to have a song in this movie, and I hope that it really can help some of these families deal with the tragedy and the losses. Also, have to look at it as, we need to find a way to turn this tragedy into a blessing, and I think this will be able to do that for a lot of people. I'm just glad to be a part of it, and I hope that everything turns out wonderful for it.
We were looking for music that really told a story from a local perspective, and Sundance is an amazing songwriter, and he really captured the spirit. He had a connection, which he's probably told you about. He had a connection. I think we all did. Every Texan in one way or another had someone. Pat Green's brother passed there. There were 139 people who died in this flood, 117 in Kerr County, but it feels like the whole state, if not the country, was affected.
I'm hoping that the voices of the victims are heard. The heroes that were involved are heard. It's a piece of Texas history, obviously. It's a very traumatic event that all of us watched in horror. And when Sean approached me and asked me to be involved, the only thing I said was, let's make sure that it's sensitive, that it tells the whole story, and that we do it in a dignified way.
When can the public expect it where they can go and see River of Angels?
And it's a very good question. This is a private screening, and the reason for we want that to have an opportunity for people to say, hey, we were really touched by this. Hey, well, let's think about this to really get it refined before it goes to the festivals. And then maybe Sundance or Cannes will want the world premiere to be there, and then it comes back onto a theatrical distribution or just streaming, or maybe Netflix picks it up. But any of those are great options.
And the obvious question, River of Angels, what does it mean?
Well, the River of Angels to us was that all the people of Kerr County believed that this was something that God had a part of. We don't know exactly what that was. We have no idea exactly, but they're angels and they're going to be in a better place. And that's the only way we can survive this.
And of course, you can catch all of tonight's segments anytime on the Factor's YouTube page. We're easy to find. All you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen and hit subscribe. We'll be right back.
More news, more...
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, if you want to catch some of the segments that you have seen tonight and you want to replay them or others in the past, we have them all compiled in one nice list on YouTube at Isiah Factor Uncensored. Go there and look for past episodes. It's all there on the page. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And don't forget to download the Fox Soul app where you can catch The Factor Uncensored with many other great programs that are produced right here in Houston that play all over the country. Jen and V, Chatting with Chelsea, The Nightcap, and the list goes on. Have a good night.